Jennifer, Deputy Director of Outreach at the National Women's Law Center, and I'd like to thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Planning for Retirement, Making the Most of Your Social Security. We have just a couple technical notes before we begin the presentations. First, all lines will be on mute during today's webinar. We will be taking questions after the experts are finished with their presentations, but you can submit questions throughout the webinar through your webinar toolbar. Also, please note that we will be recording today's webinar, and you'll receive a link to the recording of the presentation as well as to the PowerPoint slides within the next few days. And at this point, I would like to turn the floor over to Amy Matsui from the National Women's Law Center. Amy, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Amanda. I'd like to welcome you all again to our webinar, Planning for Retirement, Making the Most of Your Social Security. Social Security is the foundation of women's retirement security. The decisions you make about claiming Social Security will impact your income for the rest of your life. Moderating the discussion today, and I will help field some of your questions at the end of the presentation. We have two expert presenters today. Kristen Arnold is Income Security Policy Analyst at the National Academy of Social Insurance. NASI is a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization made up of the nation's leading experts on social insurance. Its mission is to advance solutions to challenges facing the nation by increasing public understanding of how social insurance contributes to economic security. Kristen will be covering the topic of when to claim Social Security benefits. Joan Entmacher is the Vice President of Family Economic Security at the National Women's Law Center. An expert on Social Security and women, Joan is going to talk about Social Security spousal and survivor benefits. At the end of the presentations, we'll have time for questions. As Amanda mentioned, we can't take questions by phone, but please use the Q&A function on the web page to send in your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them at the end of the presentations. And just to repeat, after the webinar, we'll email you links to today's materials. Before we get started, we wanted to find out a little bit about all of you. So we're going to move to a poll question, and please answer the questions on your screen. The first is, why are you primarily interested in this webinar? And please select one of the following options. I'm thinking about my own retirement. My friends or family are thinking about retirement, my clients are thinking about retirement, or the ever popular other. We'll just take a second to let you fill in the option of your choice. And Amanda, just let us know when enough people have made a selection.
More than 10% of people have responded at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. And so it looks like 83% of people are thinking about their own retirement, 3% are friends and family are thinking about retirement, 9% are clients are thinking about retirement, and 6% are other.
Great, thank you. And we hope that the presentation that follows gives you some of the information that you're looking to get as you're making decisions for yourself or for your family or for those clients. So our next poll question focuses on when you are planning to take Social Security benefits. So please select one of the following. Are you going to take do you plan to take your Social Security benefits at age 62, between the ages of 63 and 65, at age 66, between the ages of 67 and 70, and finally, I don't know.
Okay, and we can just give people a couple more seconds to answer. It looks like most people have answered at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. And it looks like 6% are planning to take Social Security at age 62, 19% at 63 to 65, 24% at 66, 31% between 67 and 70, and 19% are not sure.
Thanks, Amanda. So at this point, we appreciate you responding to our poll questions, and we do have a lot of ground to cover, so let's jump right into our presentation. At this point, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Kristen. Kristen, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Amy. As you mentioned, my name is Kristen Arnold, and I work on income security issues at the National Academy of Social Insurance. And as she said, we're a nonprofit based in Washington, D.C. That works to educate policymakers and the public about the importance of social insurance programs, including Social Security, retirement benefits, disability insurance, unemployment insurance, workers' compensation, Medicare, and other programs. Next slide. Okay, so it's a little blurry here, but you can see a screenshot of our toolkit page. I want to thank the National Women's Law Center, National Council of La Raza, and National Urban League for co-hosting this webinar, which is part of a series. And we've been working with these organizations for 2 years now on a public education initiative on Social Security benefits with support from the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation and the Retirement Research Foundation. And our goal with this project is to help workers find out about the financial advantages of delaying Social Security if you can. So our target audience is middle and lower income workers approaching retirement age, people in their 50s and early 60s. And we also want to reach people that workers trust for advice, such as family members, friends, coworkers, community groups, and professional advisors. Here, as I mentioned, you can see a screenshot of a toolkit of resources that we've created on Social Security, and we're looking to share these materials with the public widely through webinars and other events. So please feel free to view the materials at our website, and if you'd like to request free copies, please just email me or give us a call. Okay, now we can dive into the content. So to calculate Social Security benefits, the Social Security Administration uses a full retirement age, which is the age at which you're eligible for full unreduced benefits. And this age is based on the year you were born. It is 66 for people born in 1943 through 1954, and it will gradually rise to 67 for people born in 1960 and later. So when can I take Social Security? You can claim your benefits as early as age 62, but if you do claim them at that point, your monthly benefit will be reduced. Monthly benefit would be reduced to $750 a month, which is 25% less for the rest of your life. Delaying benefits past your full retirement age will increase monthly benefits by 8% per year for each year of delay, or by 32% if you wait from 66 to age 70. The reward for waiting until age 70 is a benefit that's approximately 76% higher than what you would have if you had started benefits at age 62. An important part of this public education initiative is to acknowledge that certainly not everyone can wait to take benefits. If you need Social Security early to make ends meet, by all means take the benefits. You've earned them. But if you can wait even a year or two, your monthly benefit will be higher for the rest of your life. Okay, you might be wondering how working affects Social Security benefits. I'll make 3 quick points on this topic. So if you're younger than your full retirement age and you earn over a certain limit, which is $15,720 this year, the Social Security Administration will withhold some of your benefits. It withholds $1 for every $2 you earn over that limit. After your full retirement age, however, Social Security does not withhold benefits because of work. If you'd like, you can delay claiming benefits or ask the Social Security Administration to suspend your benefits so you will get a higher benefit later. If you need benefits, again, take them. If you're unable to work due to a disability, you may also be eligible for disability insurance through Social Security. And if you have questions or concerns about that, we welcome you to visit the Social Security Administration's website for more information. So why forego Social Security now to get a higher monthly benefit later? Because the longer you live, the more important Social Security is likely to be. Social Security is guaranteed to last as long as you live, and other income may not. And Social Security automatically keeps up with inflation, which most other income does not. Other income often declines at older ages. You're less likely to have earnings from work, and retirement savings amounts are typically smaller at older ages as you draw them down. On average, at 65 today, women can expect to reach age 86, and men can expect to reach age 84. And about 1 out of every 65-year-olds today will live beyond age 90, and 1 out of 10 can expect to live past age 95. Social Security Administration data show how Social Security becomes more important as seniors grow older. In their late 60s, about half, or 2 out of 4 seniors, get 50% or more of their total income from Social Security benefits. After age 80, about 3 out of 4 seniors get most of their income from Social Security. So foregoing Social Security benefits now means a higher monthly benefit when you're older and will likely rely on Social Security for a larger portion of your income. Joan Entmacher will speak in much more detail about this, but I wanted to touch on it as well because it's so important to know. Couples have 2 lives to plan for, and your decision about when to take benefits can impact your spouse's survivor benefit levels. If you're the higher earner in a couple, waiting to take Social Security benefits means a higher survivor benefit for your spouse if he or she outlives you. Of partners aged 65 in 2013, more than half, or 57%, are expected to have one spouse live beyond age 90. So is there a risk in waiting to take Social Security benefits? Will the benefits be there if I wait to take them? Yes, they will be there if you wait. In fact, Social Security is stronger than many people think. While lawmakers have not yet scheduled enough funds to pay all future benefits, they've done most of the job. Social Security is fully financed until 2034, and about 3/4 of the way to full financing after that. We also know that lawmakers have many options to fix the shortfall. Recent surveys that we've done find that large majorities of Americans say they value Social Security, they want to preserve the program, and are willing to pay more if needed to keep the program strong. Okay, just a bit of a recap. Workers and employers each pay 6.2% of their earnings up to a cap, which is $118,500 this year. About 6% of all workers earn more than the Social Security tax cap. They and their employers stop paying in when they reach this cap. For example, in 2014, a worker making $150,000 stopped paying taxes when his or her earnings reached $118,500 in September, while someone making $1 million stopped paying Social Security taxes in February. And we at the National Academy have done public opinion studies to gauge support for the Social Security program. And our most recent study asked adults whether or not they agree that it is critical to preserve Social Security for future generations, even if it means increasing working Americans' contributions to Social Security taxes. Fully 77% of Americans agreed, and this was true across generations, income, and political parties. And the same survey found wide agreement on 2 ways to fix Social Security's funding gap. First, people supported to gradually phase out
the tax cap so that high earners and their employers pay throughout the year like others do. Second, we could gradually increase the contribution rate that workers and employers each pay from the current 6.2% to 7.2% of earnings. These changes would close the shortfall and pay for some improvements, according to estimates from the Social Security actuaries. Among the benefit improvements that people in our survey supported are increasing Social Security's cost of living adjustment to reflect the higher inflation experienced by seniors, and raising Social Security's basic minimum benefit so that someone who paid into Social Security for 30 years can retire at age 62 or later and not be in poverty. So in closing, if you need Social Security early to make ends meet, take it, you've earned the benefits. But if you can wait, your monthly benefit will be higher for the rest of your life. If you earn more than your spouse, delaying Social Security means a higher survivor benefit for your spouse if he or she outlives you. Social Security will be there if you wait to take your retirement benefits. There's one more slide. Okay. Here's just some additional resources. You can see our infographic on the left is our most recent resource, and just some links to our toolkit materials and videos. And thanks so much, and I look forward to questions.
Thank you, Kristen. At this point, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Joan Entmacher. Joan, take it away.
Thank you. And I am going to focus on the Social Security benefits for spouses, surviving spouses, and divorced spouses. But before I do that, I just want to reinforce what Kristen said by saying all of this is especially true for women, that Social Security is going to be probably especially important to women as they age, because they are even less likely to have generous savings or pension benefits. They enter retirement with less saved for retirement because their earnings are lower, and then they live longer. So making the most of Social Security if you can, taking it obviously if you need it, which many women do, but being able to take full advantage of your benefits and have that secure income later in life is particularly important for women. But with that, we will move on and talk about the benefits that Social Security provides to families. Next slide. Social Security is a virtually universal pension plan. It covers workers as they move from job to job and part-time jobs. But in addition to providing a pension for workers, it also provides retirement benefits for spouses and widowed spouses. The benefit for spouses is worth up to 50% of your spouse's benefit or your own benefit as a worker. And most women now have earned their own Social Security benefits. You get whichever is higher. And as a surviving spouse, when you're widowed, you can get up to 100% of your deceased spouse's benefit or your own worker benefit, whichever is higher. But Social Security isn't just for retirement. It also offers life and disability insurance protections to workers and their families before retirement age. If a worker becomes disabled, the spouse and the children can qualify for Social Security benefits. If a worker dies before retirement age, again, the spouse and children can get benefits. So these are important life and disability insurance protections. Next slide. So spouses are eligible for retirement benefits as a spouse. Divorced spouses and divorced widowed spouses are eligible, but the marriage has to have lasted for 10 years. One important difference between the divorce benefits that are available from Social Security and trying to get access to a pension plan or a retirement savings plan when you divorce is these benefits are automatic. When you apply for Social Security, you bring documentation of your marriage and your divorce, and that's it. You don't have to fight about it during the divorce. And it also does not affect the Social Security benefits that your ex-spouse or his or her new spouse will get, so you don't have to fight about it when you apply for Social Security benefits either. But your marriage does have to have lasted for 10 years. Second, same-sex couples. This year, they are available to same-sex married couples, whatever state they live in. And this has changed since we did a similar presentation last year before the Supreme Court ruled that all states under the Constitution had to recognize same-sex marriages. And finally, the rules are gender neutral. They apply equally to men and to women, to husbands and wives, widows and widowers, but we emphasize this in a presentation to women because women are the vast majority of people who rely on these spousal benefits. And that's because they typically have lower earnings and because they tend to live longer. And I should say that these benefits are important to all groups of women. Something a lot of people don't realize is that the life expectancy for Black and Hispanic women is actually longer on average than for white non-Hispanic men. Next slide. Okay, so now we're talking about the spouse benefit, one that's up to 50% of the other spouse's benefit. When can you claim this? It can be claimed as early as 62 as the same as the worker benefit. But if you do that, your spouse benefit will be reduced. Another requirement to apply for the spouse benefit at age 62, your spouse, or at any time, your spouse must file the claim for benefits unless you're divorced. If you're divorced, don't make you wait until your ex-spouse files for benefits, but you have to meet the requirements of your ex-spouse has to be at least eligible, that is age 62, and you have to have met the 10-year marriage requirement. Unlike the worker benefit, where if you wait to claim it, it gets bigger, the spouse benefit won't get any larger if you wait to claim it after your full retirement age. But again, for many people who are eligible for both a spouse and a worker benefit, your worker benefit can grow. Next slide. What happens if you claim your spouse benefit before your full retirement age? If you file before your full retirement age for Social Security, Social Security will treat you as having filed for both of the benefits that you've earned, both your spouse benefit and your worker benefit. You'll get whichever one is higher, but both of them will be reduced because you claimed them before your full retirement age. Before your full retirement age, you can't pick which benefit you want to get and let the other one grow. Next slide. Currently, if you wait until your full retirement age to claim any Social Security benefit, you have a choice. When you reach your full retirement age, you could claim just your spouse benefit, which will be at its maximum then, and let your worker benefit grow at 8% a year, the way Kristen described. And if your worker benefit is going to grow to be larger than your benefit as a spouse, this is a way to increase your lifetime protection. This is an option that is available now. However, Congress is currently in the process of acting on a bill that could change this for people who turn 62 after 2015. So if you've already turned 62 or will turn 62 this year, this option is available. So let's see on the next slide how this would work. You can go back when we send the slides around to see the details, but basically this provides an example of a woman who at her full retirement age decides to take her benefit as a spouse even though it's lower than the benefit that she's entitled to as a worker. And she gets this lower benefit for 3 years, but then she claims higher worker benefit, and she's eligible for that higher worker benefit for the rest of her life. Again, this option may only be available for people who turn 62 by the end of this year. After that, the rule, whether you claim benefits before or after your full retirement age, will be that you get the higher of the two benefits, not both. Okay, next slide. Now we're going to turn to the benefits for widowed spouses. The rules here, in some respects, are different than the benefit for spouses. If you are widowed, you can claim a benefit as early as age 60. And if you are a disabled widow, you can claim as early as age 50. However, claiming it before your full retirement age will reduce this benefit. But like your spouse benefit, widow's benefit won't grow if you wait to claim it past your full retirement age. Next slide. Kristen mentioned this, but I'm going to repeat it because it is really, really important, which is that the benefits for a surviving spouse depend on when the higher earning spouse takes benefits. If your spouse is the higher earner and he or she takes benefits before his or her full retirement age, your benefit as a survivor will be reduced. The good news is that if the higher earner waits to claim benefits until after full retirement age, the surviving spouse will get the benefit of that higher benefit and will get a higher benefit as a surviving spouse, increased by 8% per year. So this is, a critical tip and something for spouses to discuss about claiming benefits. It's not just an individual decision. It's something that will affect the economic security of the couple. So it's really something to plan together. Next slide. So what if you are eligible for benefit both as a surviving spouse and as a worker? I said a few minutes ago that Congress was in the process of changing the rules for when you might be able to claim just a spouse benefit at your full retirement age. The rules are not going to change for widowed spouses because they are more economically vulnerable. Congress created a different set of rules. And widowed spouses can continue to choose which benefit they want to claim first, even before full retirement age. And for the highest benefit later in life, you can figure out which benefit will eventually be higher and consider claiming the other benefit first. And if your full survivor benefit will be larger at your full retirement age than your worker benefit at age 70, you can take your worker benefit early, even though it's reduced. And then at your full retirement age, take your survivor benefit. If your worker benefit at age 70 is going to be larger, you could take a survivor benefit early, even though it's reduced. You'll have some income and then get your maximum worker benefit at age 70 if it is going to be larger. If by doing that, you can get the larger benefit and most income protection later in life. If you have already started, go back to the last slide. If you are widowed after your full retirement age, again, no advantage to waiting. Claim your benefit as a surviving spouse. Perhaps you've already filed for your worker benefit and are getting a worker benefit, and you are widowed and you're past your full retirement age. Let Social Security know that you have been widowed and get that benefit. Next slide. Okay. What if you are entitled to Social Security and you've worked also for a state or local government agency that is not part of Social Security, and you're also getting a pension from that work, which wasn't covered by Social Security? There are two provisions in the law that affect the benefit that you can get from Social Security: the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. These are complicated provisions, and they interact with each other. The good news is that Social Security has calculators so that you can prepare to understand the impact that these provisions will have on your Social Security income. I'm not going to try to do it here because they are complicated, but they can affect what you'll get from Social Security, and you need to be prepared for that. But Social Security has tools that can help you do that. So next slide. Just a little bit of a recap. You can get the higher of your own benefit as a worker and a spouse or surviving spouse, but not both. Once again, higher earning spouse can provide a higher benefit for the survivor by waiting. If you claim spousal benefits before your full retirement age, those benefits are reduced, and you will have been considered to have filed for both benefits, and both benefits will be reduced. A widowed spouse has the option to choose which benefit to take first and can let the benefit, which will eventually be larger, grow. And finally, I know this is complicated. We'll be sending the slides around, but for women especially, making the most of Social Security is really important. So with that, and I know we have a number of questions, I'm going to turn it back to Amy to see if we can answer some of them.
Thank you, Joan, and thank you so much both to Joan and Kristen for going over this really important information. And just to reiterate that these slides will go around to you by email a couple of days after this presentation. So all of this information and the resources are going to be at your fingertips shortly. So with that, I want to ask our experts a couple of questions that have come in, and I'm going to ask the first question to Kristen. Kristen, what if I can't afford to wait until age 67, which is my full retirement age, before claiming Social Security benefits?
As I said in the presentation, although your monthly benefit will be higher if you can wait until your full retirement age, you've paid into the system your entire life, and the benefits are there to provide a basis for economic security when you need them. So you should, by all means, feel free to take the benefits and you know, get what you've earned throughout your working life.
Great, thank you. Go ahead, Joan.
I was just going to add that, again, if you can't wait to 67, as Kristen's slide showed, if you can wait until 66, that's better than taking it at 62. So it's not a matter of taking it right away or waiting until 67. Any amount that you can wait will help increase your benefits. So, you know, if you can't wait until 67, don't think, oh, you know, then I ought to take it right away. If you can wait a little bit, that also makes a difference.
So this is kind of a related question that we got in on the chat function. If you pass full retirement age and don't want to take your Social Security benefits yet, do you have to contact SSA or take any steps in particular?
No. If you don't want to file for Social Security yet, you just file when you're ready to file. You can, you know, let them know at 68 or 69. Don't wait past 70. There's no advantage to doing that. But you can just contact them when you're ready. Now, I will say that if you are married and your spouse would like to take spousal benefits based on your earnings history, then because that spousal benefits does depend on the spouse having claimed benefits, then that's again something, you know, for couples to discuss. But if both spouses have their own worker benefits and they're claiming them themselves, then there's no requirement that you do anything at your full retirement age. But don't wait past 70.
Thank you, Joan. Another question that we got in is, if I stop working at age 62, but I don't take my Social Security benefits, will the benefit grow even if I'm no longer working and contributing?
Sure. Yeah, the answer is yes. The delayed retirement credits are not contingent on you continuing to contribute to Social Security. They are based on when you claim benefits. So if you have other sources of savings, maybe you have an IRA or other savings, that's a good option to perhaps draw those down in order to get the 8% increase in benefits that you will get for the rest of your life by waiting.
Great, thank you. So we have a couple of questions about spousal benefits. So one of those is, do common law marriages, are they recognized by Social Security?
If the state is a state that recognizes common law marriages, then yes, they are. Social Security recognizes marriages that are recognized by the state. Now, same-sex marriage, because refusal to recognize same-sex marriage has been ruled unconstitutional, they are now recognized in every state. But common law marriages, it depends on what the law in your state is.
Great, thank you. So a couple more questions on the spousal benefits. And basically the gist of them is, so I'm just going to read one of the questions verbatim. So I'm 67 and hope to wait until age 70 to take my Social Security benefits, but my husband will turn 62 in January. Can he take Social Security on my benefits without me doing so?
No. Well, you know, as of now, if you could file for your benefit as a worker and suspend it, and he would then be eligible to take spousal benefits based on your record. Two things about that. This option is, if Congress passes the law it's considering, will disappear in about 6 months. Second, if he claims his benefit at 62, he will be deemed to have filed for both his worker benefit and his spouse benefit. He will be able to get a benefit if you file for Social Security and suspend it. Your Social Security benefit can continue to grow, but he will get a reduced worker benefit and won't have the option of letting his worker benefit grow.
Great, thank you. So I think we have time for a couple more questions. So one of them is, I will be getting a pension from my company, which is not a government agency, when I retire. Will the pension affect what I get from Social Security?
It will not affect your, if it is a pension for a job that was covered by Social Security, and while you were working you paid into Social Security, your Social Security will not be affected by what you get from your pension. However, some pensions determine how much you get from the pension based on what you're getting from Social Security, and that depends on the specifics of your pension plan. But if you've been paying into Social Security, a pension will not affect what you get from Social Security.
Great, thank you, Joan. So we have a couple more spousal questions. This is from, there's a lot of spousal questions today.
Yep.
This is a question from a divorced spouse. If I have to take Social Security early, but my divorced spouse took benefits at full retirement age, will I receive a reduced widow's benefit?
Your widow's benefit is based on when he took his benefit. And so, and it's actually, you know, there's a reduction for your, well, you can't get a widow's benefit until he dies. And you won't claim the widow's benefit until that happens. So you can claim your spousal benefit now. It will, as a divorced woman, assuming you were married for 10 years, and you'll get a reduced spousal benefit or your own worker benefit, whichever is higher. And at the point you are eligible for a widow's benefit, if it's based on it will automatically be based on his full, his benefit at his full retirement age. So you won't be affecting your widow's benefit. So you can go ahead, claim a benefit, and then if he is, when he dies, your widow's benefit would, as a divorced widow, would be based on him, because he waited, it will be higher for you.
Great, thank you. So this question, maybe Kristen, you could take the first crack at it. Is there any way that I can work and get Social Security benefits at the same time?
Yes, there is. So if you are younger than your full retirement age, as I mentioned, there's that earnings limit, which is, let's see, I think $15,720. So if you're receiving Social Security benefits and earning more than that limit, Social Security Administration is going to withhold some or all of your benefits. But once you reach your full retirement age, your monthly benefit amount will then be increased to take account of any months that you didn't receive benefits because they were withheld. If you're older than your full retirement age, you can get retirement benefits and work at the same time without losing any of your Social Security benefits. However, that being said, if you do earn enough money after your full retirement age to make ends meet, you might consider delaying Social Security benefits.
Great, thank you. And another question that we have, which is on a slightly different topic, the questioner said that I've been self-employed for the past couple of years. Have I been paying into Social Security during this time?
Well, if you have been filing income taxes, your income tax form asks about income from self-employment. And if you are, unless it's a very, very trivial amount, on your income tax form, you should have filed a separate schedule for self-employment tax. And if you did that, yes, you have been paying into Social Security, and that will count toward your eligibility for Social Security and your ultimate benefit level. So but since there is no employer to deduct it and send it on, you have to do it when you pay your income taxes.
Great, thank you, Joan. So we have maybe a couple more questions, and then I think we're going to draw the webinar to a close. This question is that I've been married and divorced twice, and both marriages lasted more than 10 years. Do I get benefits from either spouse, or does it have to be one or the other?
You can only get benefits from one spouse, but if you are unmarried when you apply for benefits, you can get a benefit based on the earnings record of your higher earning ex-spouse, but you only get one.
Okay, great. And this question asks, my husband died before he took Social Security and was not at full retirement age. I am 50. What will my monthly benefit be when I reach full retirement age from the widow's benefit?
Well, Social Security will calculate a benefit based on his earnings, adjusted for the fact that he did not have, the opportunity to work. I mean, obviously there's no early retirement penalty, and he didn't have the opportunity to work for a full, career. If you are working but the thing to do, and I should say this is good advice for everybody, you can go to ssa.gov, sign up for a My SSA account, and actually get information about, and I don't know whether on that, you can establish that you were married and find out what your benefit would be on his record. If you can't do it online, you can go to a Social Security office, ask about his work record, and get an answer to that question.
Great, thank you, Joan. So I have, I think, one last question that we'll close out the webinar for. I will say that we've had a lot of questions about trying to determine whether the spouse benefit or the worker benefit is going to be more valuable. And I will just reiterate that we're going to send the slides around, which has kind of Joan's outline, and that hopefully will help you, when you have that information in front of you, sort out which is more advantageous and how you can make decisions about that. But this last question that I'm going to ask from the listening audience is, does it matter if you get married before or after you start receiving Social Security benefits for the purposes of spousal benefits?
If you get married after you are receiving Social Security benefits, you can continue to receive benefits. If when you apply, I mean, it particularly comes up with divorced benefits. If you have remarried and are married when you apply for benefits, you can't get Social Security benefits as a spouse on an ex-spouse's record if you are remarried. If you are widowed, you can get benefits as a widowed divorced spouse if you remarry after age 60. So if you've remarried and are, you've been getting benefits as a widow and you remarry after age 60, that will not affect your eligibility for benefits based on your previous, spouse's record, whether it was as a divorced widowed spouse or as a widowed spouse. If you remarry after 60, you can continue to receive those benefits, even if you've remarried, if it's after age 60.
Great, thank you. So Amanda, at this point, I think I'm going to turn the webinar back over to you to close us off. We really appreciate everyone submitting their detailed questions, and hopefully when the slides are circulated back around through email after the presentation, that will help clarify some of the issues that raise those questions. But thank you so much for your participation. At this point, I'm going to turn it back over to Amanda.
Thanks, Amy, and excuse me, and thank you to all of our presenters today. Thanks to everyone who joined us. We will be sending the slides and the webinar recording around within the next couple days. We also encourage you to join us for our next webinar, which is on Thursday, November 5th, which is on Social Security and Communities of Color. I will make sure that the link to register for that webinar is included in the follow-up materials that you get. The last note that I have is that when you exit the webinar, you will get a prompt to take just a quick survey to give us your feedback. So we encourage you to please take that, give us your thoughts, and we really appreciate everyone's time for joining us today. And with that, I will conclude the webinar. Thanks very much.